We're going over the hill, folks. We're at our 50th podcast, and we have so much to share with you today about where we've been, what we've done, and like our favorite parts of the podcast, and some new stuff that we want to bring to you guys. Welcome to the Princeton Podcast, your go-to source for everything happening in and around Princeton. Join your hosts, Zach, Mary, and Kim, three locals who live and work right here in Princeton, as we bring you the latest events, exclusive interviews with local businesses, and stories that make our town special. Your community, your stories, your podcast.
We've done a lot. We have done a lot of podcasts, and I think it's been super fun.
Do you remember when we first started, like, hey, do you think people will listen, or should we even start a podcast? Or it's cool to think about those actions and those ideas. And then that we've stayed consistent with it for like 2 years now. We're at 50 podcasts.
50 podcasts. And I remember it kind of came about from one of our board members, Carrie Vessel. She said it'd be kind of fun to start a podcast. And then from there, we just decided to go for it.
Yeah.
And we started out with like, I don't know. Here's a little known fact that maybe people don't know. Charlie Moe, the Princeton High School choir director, wrote our first jingle.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
On at least the first 2 years, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say like a year and a half.
Yeah.
We used that, and then we wanted to switch up the intro. And that's like the whole part of trying something new, right? Is like you just get started, and instead of waiting for it to be perfect, like you continue to work out what you like, and you just build it as you go. And that was super helpful from them to have that portion
that was
for
so
us
cool.
right away. It's
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. We can add that right to the intro and the outro. And
he wrote it for us.
And like a week.
Yeah.
maybe not even.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so go back to those podcasts. Yeah, and
loved it.
You can find all the podcasts on YouTube, so you can go back and watch those first podcasts. I mean, I am afraid to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had a little
was so
sign.
scary at first.
It was. We had the little Princeton podcast sign that would sit there.
Yeah.
yeah, what happened to that one?
It's still here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but we never lit it up.
We never had a banner.
And now we have a banner.
We have a banner.
All these sponsors.
Yep.
Actually, speaking of sponsors, big shout out to all the sponsors that have joined us and have sponsored the podcast. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot. It helps a lot. And we want to continue to grow this and be more of a voice for Princeton. So just shout out to you guys. If we want to run through the list quick, we can.
I'd like to, because one thing that when you're a sponsor for the podcast, so we offer opportunities at Light Up Princeton and Rum River Festival where you can sponsor those two events. And with that, you're also a podcast sponsor. So then we do a little commercial, kind of similar to what you'd hear on a radio show, is what we kind of do for our commercials. But we are so grateful for those, because there is an expense to doing all of this, definitely. So we want to give a shout out to Crystal Cabinet Works, Federated Co-ops, Aber Auto Body and Glass, Mike's Discount Foods, Twice New Clothing and Treasures, Go Savvy Social, Barry Law Offices, and the City of Princeton.
And
Yes.
I would like to apologize to Crystal Cabinets, because I did your commercial last time and I watched it yesterday. And
I thought it was great.
I don't like watching myself
I
on
know.
camera.
That's the part.
And I was
that-
like looking down the whole time and up and down, and I gotta get better at that.
Hey, it takes practice.
Yeah.
Our first podcast probably wasn't that great.
No.
Like, let's just be honest. And
Who
the
was
cool
it?
the cool thing is when you start something new and you just go for it, you're one step further than someone else. And I think we needed to do that in general, just to get out there and start doing this.
Yeah.
And how many people do we have on the podcast where like, well, we don't really like speaking or public speaking? It's like, well,
Yeah.
this is just a way to communicate. We're just having a conversation.
Right.
Like, you get used to the cameras over there in the back. And some people have a hard time watching the back. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't like watching myself back. And I've been doing this for like 6 years.
Oh, I hate it.
I hate it.
Some of those things you just kind of get used to, though. But it's over repetition. And like, we've done like 50th podcast. When we first started I think our viewership was maybe like 20 views.
Yeah.
On like our podcast. But like, what do you expect, though?
We are definitely growing.
Yeah.
And don't you usually have 3 cameras in here, just for a little behind the scenes take?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Or our behind the
That's
scenes
the
would
worst,
Be
is the-
hilarious if
is-
we put them all together.
They would be.
Inappropriate.
Some of them we can't put up. But one thing that is a little known fact, I think, that people may or may not know, is that we don't edit the podcasts.
Yeah.
We don't like splice things together or take out things that people may have said, unless it's like I don't know, someone accidentally swears or something, we might, but we've never had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like a sneeze fart. Like we'll usually take that out.
I mean, if that happened, it was definitely Zach.
I do not think that we even have edited. There's been swear words or whatever.
I don't know if we
something
have.
that somebody would consider that, but
But we, all we do is, Zach does the production of putting in the intro and the commercial, and
Yeah.
but so that's one thing that maybe people don't know is that we don't really edit these
Right.
podcasts.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's also another question that people get is like, hey, is this live? No, it's not live. But like we try and keep it as authentic as we can. And like if there's, for like the intro, like I cut out all the like dead spaces where there's less talking or just retakes, like those stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff is edited.
Yeah.
But throughout the podcast, it's not.
No, you're not like splicing things together so
Yeah.
people hear certain things, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And even if we wish you would, like
Yeah.
when our nephew was on, and
Yeah.
I kept calling him Zach.
Yeah. Well, I guess, one thing that we talked about was we kind of wrote down some ideas of things we wanted to talk about today. And one of the things we talked about was memorable challenges or funny mishaps in the first few episodes. And the one that first comes to mind is when we forgot to hit record.
Oh my gosh,
And it was with
the worst.
Ben Barton.
Yeah.
I think it was his second time on.
We started the cameras, I believe, but we didn't start the audio. And actually, we should check the audio. Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
No, but anytime you think about that, I always be like, oh my gosh. Because we recorded for an hour and we get done, and we're like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
We're
we had to
gonna-
redo the entire
So that was a
podcast.
practice round.
That was really difficult.
And it was like in depth, and we had gone like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then to try to redo it, and like, did we talk about that? Didn't we?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we already did, so then we didn't talk about it.
Yes.
He was a good sport about it, though.
He was.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ben Barton, he was our first guest on the podcast. He was our former superintendent, and he's also the record holder for the longest podcast by 1 minute over Todd Frederick. So the first podcast was the longest and hasn't been broken yet, which I think's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to go longer than that.
Yeah, we do try to keep them less than an hour, you guys.
Yeah.
We promise, but we just get babbling.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun is like one of the ideas too. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but one of the idea that I wanted to maybe bring to the audience is what if we did multiple guests on one podcast? So imagine having like 4 or 5, 6 different guests on one podcast and their snippets of each person. So like 10-minute snippets. So if, let's just say local businesses or people or events or certain things going on, if it's a busy season, like I know that the Rum River Festival, we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of news, a lot of stuff with the police, a lot of stuff with the city, a lot of stuff with the events going on. And if we just had multiple people on, I think it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would like to. That would be really fun to do, like with the fall coaches, and then the winter coaches, and then the spring coaches. Just as it, like you get 5-10 minutes.
As long as we can keep it to that.
Yeah.
That's where we have a challenge.
Yeah.
We might have to
Update.
edit that one. That one might be edited.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Just
I think
keep
that
it
would be
down
fun.
It would be fun.
One podcast that does come to mind though is when we had Williams Dingmann on for the first time.
Yes, I have that note too, Zach.
So that was a surprising but meaningful conversation like I did not expect.
Same.
Going into it, I guess I didn't really know what to expect. And just the way he brought his information and what they do over there at Williams Dingmann was so meaningful. And it was like, wow, this is very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And how you guys go through your process and how you help people. And I was like, wow, this
And
is
he
so
did
neat.
it in such a fun and funny way.
Right,
That
the
was the one that I wrote down about one that was unexpected.
We laughed.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. That was one of the most, and James, who was the guest that day, has said that they've gotten a lot of traction from that podcast, which that makes us feel good to know that
Yeah.
they're,
Absolutely.
they're sharing it and getting,
Yeah.
views that way too. And
And I'm not afraid to ask the awkward questions.
right.
I get
exactly.
excited.
Exactly. That's a really fun
Or
one.
that moment where you're like, during my ceremony, I want someone to send out a text on my behalf and said, just kidding, it's dark in here, let me out.
And then he's like, oh yeah, that's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, do they sew your eye shut? Do they sew your lips shut? Like
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah.
stuff that nobody really wants to know. But I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It's kind of uncomfortable to
I want
ask.
to know, do they have shoes on?
Yeah.
Speaking of like meaningful and impactful ways that this podcast has helped our city, and I think some of the viewers is just sharing stuff that people just wouldn't know otherwise.
Right.
Like even for myself, I can speak for myself, interviewing these people and hearing the stories of like, I did not know that about our town. Especially too for like child development or activities, or I know we've had a lot of conversations too about our school and our programs where I had no idea.
Right.
And it's like, I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine there's other people that would probably share the same experience.
definitely.
Even if there's one person out there that was like, wow, this has been helpful. Like that means a lot.
I agree. And personally, like you said, you said the same thing. I've learned a lot personally on this podcast from people. One that comes to mind for me was the ice arena and learning about how thin the ice actually is.
Oh, yes.
That is, for some reason, that stuck with me because I just
Like
imagined
a
it
quarter
being
of
like
an inch.
Yeah.
Or half an inch or
I imagined
something.
it being like at least a half a foot.
Me too.
Yeah, so just kind of interesting tidbits and the work that goes into, keeping our ice arena running and our, both sheets of ice and
Just interesting. And
Yeah.
then I remember, I don't know who it was. Bob. I think Bob was it. And we've learned that our dad played football down at Riverside Park. Like that's where the football field was
Yep,
at
down
one
at
time.
Riverside Park.
Or
Yep.
baseball. Football.
No, football.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
Riverside Park, there was a football field?
Yeah.
And that's where the high school played?
Yeah.
He's like, yes.
Yep.
No way.
We should bring a game back. We should play there again.
Yeah, we should.
That'd be fun. For like
Do
a throwback.
football game.
How cool would that be?
That would be so cool.
We'd have to cut down trees.
Yeah, probably.
Just leave them.
Well, I think
Do a
they
little
did
bit of
it. I think
trimming.
they did it like in the bowl part of the park.
Like where the campground is?
No, but on the other side, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna have to ask Bob. We're gonna have to
yeah.
ask Bob
That would be. And then people can just sit.
on the hill.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could be wrong. Bob's probably like going, "No, Kim."
Absolutely
But there
not.
was one podcast, I think I laughed. I laughed really hard though when we were talking about the hotels.
I have that down too,
Yes,
Zach.
it was so funny and interesting to hear about what goes on at our hotels. Because like,
the backside of it.
yeah, there's like you can only imagine. Like
Right.
everyone stayed at a hotel that they've been like, wow, this is kind of iffy. Like everyone, I feel like has that experience.
Yep.
But then hearing it from like the staff and like the stuff.
Like the things that get left behind.
Yeah,
Or
things
the
that get left behind.
mattress
Yeah,
that was-
people trying to take stuff or steal stuff.
Steal
or
the
like,
mattress out the back window.
Or get threatened for their life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they don't have rooms available.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You have
that
zero
one,
rooms available? Yeah, zero.
the TP
Well, I
too.
will shoot you at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That one was really fun, and I think also having Todd on, sharing stories too about maybe some of the complaints that come through.
Oh gosh,
thought
I
was-
love Raz and Todd.
Well, speaking of Todd, he is our most frequent guest. He's been on the podcast more than anyone else.
Well, he'll hear this
4
and know
times.
that Ben, maybe he knows Ben beat him by
Oh, he
a
does
minute.
because the second time that he was our second guest, and he wanted to beat he wanted to beat Ben's record, and he fell short by 1 minute. So Ben was an hour and 16, and Todd was an hour and 15.
Okay, so you guys can expect next time we have Todd on, it will be lengthy.
No, we're not going to allow it. I always tell Todd whenever he's speaking, like at a luncheon or whatever, I'm like, can I borrow your taser so that I can stop you from talking? You know,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Speaking
he's
of
never
Todd,
allowed me.
that one podcast had how many comments?
Well, yeah, there was one comment that, so Zach often will put together reels. So he'll take little clips of our podcast and then put it in a short reel of like, I don't know how many seconds.
Yeah, no, just anywhere
30
from
seconds
15
or-
to 60 seconds. They're just social reels on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube Shorts. And Todd also he might not have the record for the longest podcast, but he definitely has the record for the most views, most engagement, and most comments. I mean, that falls
On
under
a reel.
engagement too. But yeah, I think the last time we checked, and this was probably even like 2 months ago, we checked on his reel, and we were at 500,000 views, I think, on his reel.
And I checked last night, over 1.2 thousand comments.
Yeah.
It's just
Comments.
and that was about a worthy.
It was about car,
Cars.
yes, whether or not a car, like what makes it street worthy.
Okay, and the funny part about that is that I now, when I'm driving through town and I see cars sitting
Same.
out that that they're
Same.
not running.
Yeah.
We're like, wonder if
And
that should be in a garage.
Well, and that all came from the podcast where people wrote in and asked questions of the chief, and it came from a question about somebody leaving their couch out.
Yes.
Just leaving it on the curb for free.
Yeah, what could we do about people leaving stuff,
Yes.
just random, pretty much garbage half the time,
Yeah.
just on the
Yes.
street? Like, what can you do about that? And
like,
that was
hey,
like,
come take my couch. It's free, but
Yeah.
it's been sitting here for 3 weeks and it's
In the
rained
rain.
for,
Yeah.
10 days of that.
like, yeah, sure.
So that led to, like, what about cars up on blocks and things like
Yes.
that? Well, that, I mean, I would say kind of went viral because that had
Oh, for
comments from all over the country. And people are like, where is this? And people were just so upset about, you're not going to tell me if I can have my cars on, if I can have my cars up on blocks. And I'm just like,
From California.
yes.
Yeah,
Like,
people
dude.
were freaking out. Another thing that actually, it was never actually a podcast, I believe, but when we had our dumpster
Oh, gosh.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
the
Also
orange-
viral.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
I had people literally I was in another state at a race event, and they were talking about like, oh my gosh, you got that dumpster or whatever. Like, we saw those videos. I was
Oh
like, no
my
way.
gosh,
It's like,
The
Yeah.
orange dumpster.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy.
That was quite hilarious.
Maybe we need to
That
reel
came
that
about.
one back.
We did have to
Princeton
reel that one back
icon.
because we're like, that's not what we
We're
want
going
our
too
town
far.
to be remembered by.
Yeah.
So one thing that another one of my favorite memories is when Rough Start Rescue brought all the puppies.
Oh,
That was so
yes. We
fun.
got to hold them, and they just cry.
I know that was a memorable one for me.
I love that.
Honestly, probably still to this day is one of my favorites was our third podcast ever. And we had Sunken Ship Brewery here.
Oh,
That's mine.
I have that on here as a mishap.
Yeah.
That's
It was
my-
like, so we didn't really, we're still new to this. And like, the brewery wants to bring in beers for us to try
Yeah.
and like all this stuff, which was a great idea. And then
It was.
half an hour into it, we're like, just,
Should we order luncheon?
yeah.
I mean, the podcast
get
ended,
some-
and I was like, I am going to go sleep under my desk for a little while.
But that one was funny too. And then all their like slogans that they wanted to say. And like,
Yes.
that was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Oh
But,
my
like,
God, about a billboard to put
Yeah,
Yes.
the billboards and like all that.
John. Wasn't
Yeah.
that John?
Yeah.
Was it John? Oh, he's
Yeah.
so hilarious.
My goodness. Yeah, no, that was probably one of my favorite ones.
That
Yeah,
was
'cause
a
they
blast.
Brought like 4
Oh, more than
Crawlers.
4. I think they
Five?
brought like the 4
Yeah,
4 or
crawlers.
5 big ones.
Yeah.
big ones, and I think we had them
Between
all.
the 4 of us, we finished them, I think.
Yeah.
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 So, and that's at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, just starting strong.
Yeah, we haven't like had anything to eat. We just jump right in with some beer.
Tune in on the Princeton podcast where we sip on some beers.
And as it went on, like, okay, are we ready to open the next one?
Yep.
Yeah,
No, that
so now
was
you
funny.
guys will have to go back and watch that one and see if you can tell.
Yeah.
Another kind of funny thing that I wrote down is the number of people who have walked in the door. It's usually my dad.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one that actually walked in now, has it?
Yeah, we forgot to lock the door one time.
And I remember I talked to Corey, our mail carrier, too, where he was like pulling on the
Yes.
door.
Yes.
Because he could see us and was
Like,
like,
"Oh,
what's
mail's here."
happening? And so I talked to him afterwards and I'm like, Corey, there's a sign. Well, I don't read that. So we do, and then when the firefighters are on, I'm like, I'm sure this is against fire code, but we are going to lock you in the office.
Yeah. By the way. Or I would say when we were first getting started too, we realized that we had to keep the bathroom door shut because you could hear the plumbing through the phone.
And there's another thing that happens every time.
You should have answered that.
It's a toll free. It's what it is. It's never.
We could do call-ins. So that's actually another idea I wanted to bring up was if we could do call-ins or somehow involve you guys that are listening to have questions or even just a recorded line or recorded voicemail or sending in some kind of voice memo that we could play or share or ask,
Ooh, I love
answer
that.
those questions on the podcast and essentially not live, but like on here live.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah. No, I think that would
We'll
be
have to figure out a way to do
Ooh,
that.
Let's add that.
Yeah, we'll
I
figure
like
out a
that
way. 'Cause
idea.
I think that'd be really fun. Speaking of the phone, I just want to put out there that I have tried multiple times to shut this off before, and I cannot figure it out. So
How to turn
if
the
anybody wants to
ringer off?
come in and show me how to turn the ringer off, that'd be great because I cannot figure it out.
We could probably turn down the volume on the
I've
ring.
tried it. I've tried like to turn the volume down to 0, and it always rings.
No.
Always. I also another one of my favorites. I couldn't pick my favorite.
Yeah.
But another one of my favorites was the one and only time we've taken the podcast on the road, and that was to the Mille County Historical Society.
Yeah.
I was just
really
gonna say that.
like that one.
Yeah.
With Barry Schreiber.
The Odegaard.
And it was this Odegaard story. And I'm telling you guys, we could take our podcast on the road, down the road to the Mille County Historical Society so many times.
That was one of my favorites because then you get so involved you forget you're on a podcast and you forget you have these on, and I remember wanting to get up and look at something closer.
Yep.
And
Barry is such an excellent storyteller,
Yes.
so he's great to have on the podcast. And
I think he could have his own podcast.
he definitely could.
he should.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we want to try to do a little bit more with our reels or our shorts is trying to do some history of Princeton. You know, like this is where's, the potato factory used to be or whatever
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much information that Barry has up in his noggin about
Yep.
this town
It's
and
incredible.
the history. And it's always a treat to get to listen to him speak.
It is.
And another podcast that comes to mind that I really enjoyed listening to was when we had Kurt Van Ort on our podcast. And so I think one of the reasons why I liked listening to it, because I also had sold property and casualty insurance for a while. I was an agent. And then hearing Kurt and his stories about people calling in or insurance claims or insurance fraud, and like, man, that was comical. Like,
It was.
Yeah, that was the day we found out we both sold insurance.
both sold insurance, and then how people like slipping in like restaurants or stores and throwing milk jugs and filing claims, or maybe someone ran over the neighbor's cat, or
Yes.
There's
And then
a-
we did have some
Or a
off-air.
drive-by.
Yeah, we had some off-air hilarious stories too from Kurt that we couldn't put on the air. But what was really nice about Kurt too is that he has so much experience in the industry, and he was right before he retired.
Yeah.
So we got to hear a lot of great things
Yeah.
about his experience, which was so fun.
if anyone knows Kurt, that maybe you do insurance through him or his business, but like, just a great guy
Yep.
overall too.
Yep. And now Sam Tibbetts is the guy for
Really?
State Farm in town. Yep.
Kurt retired.
Kurt's all retired now. So
Huge sponsor of so many things in
yes,
Princeton.
huge community supporter.
Gave
Yeah.
back a lot.
Yep. Which
Yep. You
it's-
listening to that, Sam?
Yep. Sam. I've already seen Sam on Facebook. He does like a Friday donut thing where he's going around and brings a dozen donuts around town to
Oh, really?
business. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
There was another section I wanted to bring up, if what we should add to the podcast. So if you guys have ideas too, please leave them in the comments or message us or send us an email. But we want to hear who you guys want to listen to, what would you like to hear more about, if there's a guest that you'd like to have back on, or any ideas that we could add to the podcast to make it more either valuable for you guys as listeners or more entertaining. We want to know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, like, did you guys like, so it really wasn't technically a podcast, but when we would go out and do the, what you can do for under $25 in the
Yep.
summer and what you can do under $25 for
Taco
the winter.
testing.
Best taco in town. We still have not done the best pizza yet.
No.
There's lots of
But the
pizza
taco
places.
was the taco. If any of you saw our taco video, that was actually quite difficult because by the end, it
Yeah.
was so hard to. And we were just trying. Well, we were trying to eat just little, sharing like one.
It was, the
but it's-
problem was we were so hungry at the first one, and it was
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
That was the problem. And
No.
then by the time we got to the end, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Dragging
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
But I think our parks video, so we've done like a hybrid of trying to share information with, about our town through our podcast, and then also standalone YouTube videos that are either more entertaining or more themed based, like the tacos, or we've done the parks, or we've done even going to not our national park, but our
Sherburne?
Wildlife
Yep.
Refuge,
Yep.
stuff like that. But by far, my favorite video that we have done outside of the podcast has probably been the 10 under 20
Yeah.
video.
That was
That's
more in the
gonna-
summer, like golf.
10
The
things
beach.
under $20 that you can do here in
Pickleball.
Princeton with either yourself or with family was a great one.
And we should do it again because we've added things in Princeton that people might not know about that you could do. Speaking of the wildlife refuge, that just brought up a funny moment to me with Sue Hicks and telling the story about the snakes.
Oh, yeah.
What it was at stakes, like having sex or something like that in front of all the first graders.
Oh, my gosh.
Some
I forgot
animal.
about that.
Some animal.
I just remember because you made a reel out of that specific story, Zach.
Yeah. No,
That was such a funny.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you said exactly what the funny part was.
Uh-huh.
And she was just like,
Yeah.
"What?" I'm
It
like,
happened. It happened in front of all the first graders.
Oh my gosh.
Our flight expo was also another one that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a lot.
Yeah, a lot of learning on that one.
So many. I mean, I just think that I hope people they are tuning in. And it has slowly grown over our 50 podcasts. But it's something that I think that is helping people realize about things that they didn't know were in Princeton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of it. You always hear there's nothing going on here. There's nothing to do here. There actually is.
There's a lot.
You
Yeah.
just got to,
Yeah, and we're located, too, in a great place. Like, we've talked about this, too, our location with 2 major highways, hospital, all the amenities that Princeton offers. You have the space, too, to grow a family with our land and opportunities for growth. And every time I drive out, I live about 12, 15 minutes out of town, and I get to see these new homes being built out here, too. And people finding land and moving their families out, and it's cool.
Yeah,
It's very
it
cool.
is.
Yeah, and I always love having Sean and Emma on. They're always entertaining.
Yes. So speaking of Sean and Emma, we have our top 5 viewed podcasts, and 2 of them
Ooh,
are from
are
the
they?
same organization in the top 5.
Really?
So our number 1 viewed video so far is the Princeton Health and Fitness with the new owners. Yeah, we're the new owners with Joseph.
Yeah. I
had-
think that was just a bunch of rewatches because of his accent.
Yeah, I know he's got a great accent. So that's our number 1 most watched podcast. And then when they were on with Susan and
That the first one I missed.
yeah, it was Susan Joseph was on that one too, and that one is our 3rd most watched podcast. And your second one was the Princeton Speedway when the
Yeah.
new owners took over
Yep.
at the Princeton Speedway, and I think people were really interested to learn what they were going to do and how they were going to make changes, which has been really awesome.
And it's been super fun to see that.
Yep,
Because all those big signs are up, their scoring system.
yep.
It's really cool.
Then looks like for our number 4th one was the Happy Trucker Trucker Fest.
With Sean and Emma, that's
Yep.
what reminded me of that.
Because they're like the professionals. I mean,
Well, what's interesting about Sean and Emma is they come here because if you don't know, Happy Trucker is a Happy Production Studios is a live radio show online 24/7, and whenever they come here, they say, "Oh, we're so nervous," and we're recorded. They're live.
Yeah. Mhm.
And they've had us on their radio show a few times too, and we're nervous when we go there.
Yeah, I was
'cause it's
way
live.
more nervous on that
Yeah.
one. He's like, "Hey, give it over here to Zach." I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm on my
I
phone,
hope
man."
nobody's listening to that.
So it's so funny because, they get nervous when they come here and we get nervous when we go there. But they're always really fun. And that, I'm going to give them a shout out too. Trucker Fest is coming up in October at the Mille County Fairgrounds. And it's a 3-day music festival right here in Princeton.
I am so bummed that I have a tournament on that Friday and Saturday.
Oh, yes. It's so fun.
I was so excited to go and
Yeah.
experience it. And after that podcast, like, who would not want to go to this?
I know. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And camp and just spend even if you live in Princeton.
Yeah,
Camp, go
people do
camp.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. So they can it's really fun because we volunteered to take tickets in the morning on one of the morning shifts.
I wish you
and
could
people just
share
kind of
your
come
story.
out like they come out with their coffee in their robes
robes.
and stuff. It's just fun. It's a fun environment. And then our last one, apparently people like to know when there's new things going on. Our 5th most watched podcast was in 2023 with the new high school principals.
Yep. And we just did one with the
Yep.
same 2
Principals, yeah, 3 years later.
Yep.
Their 3rd year into it, so.
3?
They're in their 3rd year.
Oh, okay.
So we
Yeah.
missed a year.
So 23, 24, 25 is how long we've been doing the
Yeah, it's
podcast.
been those.
I believe it was
years
February
flew by.
2023 that we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not believe when we had them on last time.
And they said, yeah, they had been there for 3 years, or
Both of
starting their 3rd year.
Both of us were like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
us.
I had a question for the audience. Some of our thumbnails are just like
I have that in
screen
here.
grabs from the podcast, and like I'll go through. This is kind of like a behind the scenes production thing that some people maybe don't know. But I'll go through the video and I'll pull screenshots of us speaking and try and find like moments that will work for our thumbnail. And sometimes they are maybe a little blurry or just maybe not the right like angle that I'm looking for, the right lighting. So I will use AI sometimes with the power of AI, and
Shout out to Jim and Charlie.
yeah. So I've used a few AI on the thumbnails, and I want to know from you guys if you think the thumbnails are funny, like cool,
I
or
did.
I don't know. I enjoy using the AI thumbnail maker, but I know that some people are.
Well, I think that when you pointed out to me, like, did you know this one was AI? No, I didn't. But Charlie and Baxter were so obvious because they look so different. And it was so funny reading the comments, and people are like, AI did you too dirty. And
Yeah.
Charlie looked like he was like 12.
and well, no, I think he aged.
I thought he looked like
They
a little
both-
boy, like
I
kind
think they both aged.
You were saying that he looked like an old grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie did.
Grandma.
Yeah.
With
I
his
mean,
glasses. It was his glasses and like.
You guys,
it's
you guys
just
got to go
funny.
back and look at it.
You do.
and
You have to go look at
make
it.
your comment on it.
I'm
'cause
still a
it's
fan.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of the AI stuff because
Zach's like, because we were like, Zach, what? And he's like, you guys, I really did my best on that.
yeah, like I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, what did Jim send you? He sent you a text or something.
Well, Charlie
Or
right away
Charlie.
was kind of like, what on earth is, and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice it. I'm like, oh, the podcast is all great. Thanks
Yeah.
for letting me know. Because you had posted it,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't realized it. And then I went back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I know what you're talking about.
You did have very smooth skin, though.
Yes, both of them did.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
there was no wrinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the perk of AI.
Yeah,
is you
no
can
wrinkles.
kind of tweak some of those things.
Yeah.
Kind of like the beauty lens.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, that was
Uh-huh.
a hilarious one. Yeah, that was another. We all kind of wrote down the same thing.
Yeah.
And another thing that we used to do. Well, one thing that I wrote down that is I think a really positive of this is I think it just reaches a larger audience. We have the opportunity. Let's say for the chamber, we do ribbon cuttings, for example. Well, that's only going to be seen by either people who were there who maybe saw the live while it was on,
Yeah.
things like that. But this sits on YouTube and what you call evergreen. So we try to keep it so we try to not throw dates in and stuff. But that has been a change. When we first started, we started out by like reading down a long list of events that were happening. And so if you go back, you're going to see that. But now, if you go back and I don't know, you're going to go, you'll definitely know it's older.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is with it having evergreen. In other words, YouTube has become not just like a social platform where stuff will live for a couple days, but it's more of a library. Like stuff lives on there forever, and people can go and visit or take a look 10 years down the road,
Right.
20 years down the road, because YouTube isn't going anywhere, and it's only getting bigger. And they're actually saying by 2000, I believe 28. I need to check this again, but within the next few years, the search volume will be higher on YouTube than it is on Google.
Wow.
So just also kind of because that with AI too, with people using AI for like their Google search now, like they just use AI to
It's
search
just in
things.
there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want video tutorials or just like the quick
Yes.
response or a visual tool to see what's going on. So people have been using that as a library or a search console for their content or their needs or whatever they're looking for. And another thing too that's been really cool is a new update that Netflix is gonna start adopting podcasts. So they want a part of the pie, which is also great because it allows for other businesses, other communities, other members to now push their content to not only on YouTube but on Netflix.
Wow.
Because it's become more of a thing where people will sit down and they do spend an hour.
Right.
I've listened to podcasts that are 4 hours long. Like, and if you think about it, like most of your movies or TV shows on Netflix are half an hour, 45 minutes. Maybe if you watch a movie, it's a couple hours. But when you start introducing those longer segments, they're
Yep.
interested in that. So it's a benefit for the creators and the businesses that do have podcasts. And
That's
a new
pretty
opportunity
cool.
for us.
That is. And so we do, we have some podcasts that we do that are definitely dated, meaning, for example, like the Rum River Festival podcast, that's for that year.
Yeah.
The Lions
Alex-
Fishing Tournament, that's for that year. The fair, yeah. So we
Yeah.
do have some for sure, but
And they might be dated for that date, but those are like reoccurring.
yeah,
Events.
events.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So, but for the most part, we really try to we try to keep dates out, or
I'm trying to.
we've even tried to stop talking like about the weather.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we were doing at first. Like, I could barely get in today because there was, a foot of snow. We try to not even do that anymore because it might be the middle of summer when you're watching, and then it just indicates how old it is,
Yeah.
So, yeah, so those are some kind of things that we've learned along the way.
And speaking of living on the internet forever, that reminds me I still have to go back and look at Jacob's prom play-by-play.
Oh, yeah.
I was just watching that podcast too, and we had Eric Jacobs on, and he was talking about his
Play-by-play of the prom.
yes. And I said, I have got to go back and watch that.
And now whenever I listen to him do his play-by-plays of sports, it's just kind of fun knowing, having talked to him and
Yeah.
knowing how he got into it and that kind of thing.
And his
so.
pre-game prep
Yep,
and all the stuff that he does
Yeah.
behind the scenes. It's all
Yep.
behind the scenes.
Yep. It's really
So-
cool. So, yeah, so we are excited to
Yeah.
have reached 50 podcast milestone.
Yeah, it's growing. That's a cool thing, is looking back at the data too, and seeing that where we started to where we are now. We're growing, I believe, on average around 20, 30 new subscribers every month, which is neat because honestly, our town is just over 5,000, 6,000.
Yep. And our school district area has got to be
Much bigger.
Yeah, 12, 13, maybe even 15,000
Because I
now.
think Baldwin's are on like 7+.
Yeah. So the school district is much larger.
And the nice thing is that I think the overall goal is, if I'm speaking for everyone, is to be kind of that spot where people can come and learn and find out what's going on in our town and get more of a deeper dive of who's teaching our kids, who's chief of police,
Yeah.
what's new here, what's learning about our history. Like, we want to become that hub,
Yep.
that information source here in Princeton, and I think we're on our way to do that. And it's just been exciting to take something that was an idea and see it starting to manifest. And so thank you for also participating.
Yeah, and listening. I mean, it's really fun. I want to thank everybody who listens, especially on a regular basis, because it's I hear from people. Actually, there's been several times now where I've been in the post office or at an event or someone will come up to me and say, "Hey, you're on the podcast," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yay! Thanks for listening."
Yeah, I get
That's
so
awesome.
excited.
Yeah. So that's really fun too. So thanks to everybody that's out there listening too
I
and,
get that
and
too.
watching.
Like, I cannot believe you said that. Or
Yeah. Yep. It's fun. It is fun.
slipped right out.
Yeah.
So again, if you guys haven't subscribed yet already on YouTube, I think we're most dominant, most prominent, and we post the most consistently on YouTube. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Check out our podcast. If there's someone in town or your friends or some family members that you could share this with that they could find some value in or might find interesting, please share it. It helps a ton. And thanks again for just being a listener of the podcast.
Yeah. Wish us a happy 50th in the comments and give us your ideas.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
absolutely. Drop the ideas.
Drop the ideas
for
in
real.
the comments.
We're taking them.
Yep,
We're
for
open
sure.
for ideas.
We'll give
Yep.
you a shout out.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, until next time, this is Kim, Zach, and Mary signing off. This is Princeton. Stay here for the 50th,
For the 50th time.
Stay here,
Play here.